Hey guys, I'm Mark Scott, and thanks so much for checking out another voiceover tip. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to this channel and you'll never have to miss another one of these videos ever again. And if you're watching on Facebook, like and follow my page at facebook.com/MarkScottVoiceover. So last week I shared a tip on getting your voiceover website up and running. There's a misconception out there from a lot of people that it's super expensive to get it done. And as a result, a lot of talents say that they don't have a website because it's simply not in their budget. So last week I talked to you about how I set up my first voiceover website and every website I've done since then for next to nothing, about $5 a month. And I think it's safe to say that everybody can afford $5 a month. Now, the result of last week's video tip was that a lot of people were getting in touch saying, now, if we're going to build our website, what is the content that we need to have on it? Great question. And it was asked a lot of times, which is why I'm going to discuss that in this week's video tip. I'm going to give you 5 essential pieces of content that you need to have on your voiceover website. Nothing super profound, but absolutely essential that you have them. Now, tip number 1 isn't so much about content as it is about the actual creation itself. You need to have a mobile responsive website. Now, for those of you that are going to do the WordPress route and you're going to purchase a theme from someplace like themeforest.net, like I suggested in last week's tip, make sure that you are looking for a mobile responsive theme. And when you see that theme, it's going to show you, usually in a live demo, it's going to show you what your website will look like on desktop, on tablet, and on smartphone. This is essential for a couple of different reasons. First of all, the statistics don't lie. More and more people are surfing the web on smartphones and tablets, and you want your website to look right. You want it to be easy to navigate, and you want people to be able to get access to all of the different content if they are surfing on a tablet or a smartphone. So that's the number 1 reason. The number 2 reason is because mobile responsive is starting to become a big factor in SEO in search engines like Google. So if your website isn't mobile friendly, it's not going to display as high in the search rankings. So for SEO purposes, make sure you've got that as well. So tip number 1, it's gotta be mobile responsive. And there are a ton of themes out there that allow you the ability to do that. Second most important thing you're going to have on your website, obviously, is your demos. And to go along with the mobile responsive, you want to make sure that you have a mobile friendly player for your demos. A lot of players out there are flash-based, and those are no good to you because they are not going to work on iOS devices, which means that everybody using an iPhone or an iPad is not going to be able to listen to your demos. So you want to make sure that your demos are on your site, every demo that you have, and most importantly, you want to make sure that they are mobile friendly and that they will play across all platforms. Test your demos in Chrome, in Firefox, in Safari. Test them on a tablet, test them on a smartphone, test them on an Android device, test them on an iOS device. Make sure that they are going to play on all platforms. Very, very important. After all, if your demo can't be heard, you're not going to be getting any work from your website. Next up, number 3 is your contact information. Make sure that your contact information is there and that it's easy to find. You want to put your email address at the very least or some kind of a web form, either or, and make sure that it is easy for people to find and access. I would recommend that you include your cell phone number or business number if you have one as well. And this can be debated and it can be risky because you can start getting calls that are spam calls and you can get people that are throwing you on your telemarketing list. And I understand all of that. But the fact of the matter is there are still people out there that just don't want to deal with email. They want to deal with a phone call, and they might be more likely to give you a call if your number's on your website than they would be to send an email. So make sure that at the very least, you have your email address and that it's very easy to find, very prominent on the site. And if you are comfortable with it, include your phone number as well. Next thing you want to include is an About Me page. People are going to want to know a little bit about you and a little bit about your background. Here you could talk about yourself, you could talk about your business, you could talk about the training that you've done, you can talk about some of the different clients that you have worked with. It's just a little bit of an insight so they can find out a little bit more about you. My About page covers a little bit of everything. It goes into a little bit of my work history, it goes into some of my personal likes and some of my hobbies and things like that. It discusses my business and how I came to the point where I am as well. So make sure you've got some kind of an about page that gives a little bit of a story about you. And I know the debate will rage on forever on this one. Do I use a logo or a headshot? My personal preference, use a headshot. People like to know what you look like. Marketing these days is all about relationship, and how do you develop relationship with a logo? You don't really. You develop relationship when you get a chance to see somebody smiling at you. So use a headshot, get a professional photographer, take a great headshot, and include that on your About Me page. And the fifth thing, and this is the final tip that I'm going to give you for this video, testimonials. Make sure that somewhere on your website you have got testimonials. And testimonials are really easy to get when you've worked with a client, especially if it's a client that you've worked with for a while. I have reached out to tons of clients in the past and asked for testimonials, and only on 1 or 2 occasions have I had a client that has said no, and usually it's for reasons like because we've had to sign a non-disclosure agreement and or whatever. It gets complicated, but the fact of the matter is the vast majority of your clients are going to be more than willing to provide a testimonial. So get those testimonials on your website because those are going to play right in hand with your demo. If you have a great demo, if you have it on a website that is mobile responsive and people can access it and surf it easily, if you have a great about page and people can find out a little bit more about you, and you have those testimonials that say that you do great work, then as long as your contact information is really easy to find, people will be able to get in touch with you through your website. Hey guys, what do you think? Have you got a tip for building a website? Content that you absolutely think is essential? Content that you think needs to be left off? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. Let's get a dialogue going. Please leave a comment below. Thank you so much for sharing the video amongst your social network as well. I really appreciate it. Let's get connected. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. Check out my blog at marcscottvoiceover.com. And don't forget to sign up for my newsletter, free voiceover advice delivered to your inbox on a regular basis at newsletter.marcscottvoiceover.com.